Hello everyone, nice to see you again and welcome back to Pacific Front channel. The search for the Indonesian Air Force aerial refueling aircraft has been hard for a long time. The plane has risen to the surface several times in recent years. However, we haven't got the clear winner, let alone heard about the contract announcement. Just a few days ago, a new development about this procurement appeared again. But this time, the Airbus A400M might be chosen to fill the role of both strategic airlift and aerial refueling capability. What a twist! So today, let's discuss it once more. We're gonna look back at the Air Force tanker aircraft requirement, the Airbus A400M aerial refueling capability, and evaluate if this aircraft is the best for the job. Stay tuned. The plan to procure the aerial tanker aircraft first appeared back in 2019 in the Indonesian Armed Forces 2020 to 2024 strategic plan. On that list, the Air Force plans to procure at least 2 aerial tanker aircraft before 2024. To help them in assessing the requirement and technical aspect, the Air Force had appointed GMF Aero Asia, a subsidiary of national airline Garuda Indonesia, for assistance with an in-depth study on Indonesia's aerial refueling capability. Among the matters that were explored in the study were life cycle costs, local capabilities in maintaining the airframes, compatibility of refueling methods with the Air Force fleet, and interoperability with existing and future assets. The Air Force and GMF Aero Asia recommend that the new tankers are equipped with both prop and drogue and boom refueling methods. And prior to the joint study with GMF Aero Asia, the Air Force also made a study comparing Airbus A330 MRTT, Boeing KC-46A Pegasus, and Ilyushin Il-78. Then in June, we learned that the Ministry of Finance has granted approval to obtain up to $700 million in foreign loans to procure 2 aerial tankers for the Air Force. It was revealed in a notice issued by the Ministry of Finance back in April, listing a total of 31 defense programs for which funding through foreign loans have been approved. Lastly, a few days ago, Jens reported that in a virtual meeting, the Indonesian Ministry of Defense and representatives from Airbus were in talks to procure a fleet of Airbus A400M to enhance the Air Force airlift capability. Moreover, they also discussed if the A400M airframe can fulfill the Air Force in-flight air refueling requirement. Also present during the meeting were officials from PT LAN, Indonesian Aerospace Industry, GMF Aero Asia, and directors overseeing offset matters from MOD Office. Airbus has started offering the A400M to Indonesia since 2016, competing against the C-130J Super Hercules for the Air Force Heavy Airlift program. According to several defense articles back in 2017, the previous defense minister decided to choose this aircraft. However, just like most procurement in the second phase of the modernization program, the contract has never been signed due to lack of funding. And based on the news we saw last month, we knew that the competition ended with C-130J as the winner. As we already discussed in my video about the MRTT, the Air Force currently has a fleet of aircraft with 2 different aerial refueling receivers. The prop and drogue system for Sukhoi, Hawks, and in the future Rafale, and the boom system for F-16, C-130, and perhaps the F-15. Although the A400M indeed has aerial refueling capability, this feature is limited for prop and drogue aerial refueling only, leaving the F-16, C-130, and F-15 out of in-flight refueling service. So if we just talk about the aerial refueling aspect, it doesn't give added value for the Air Force, since they already have the KC-130B. Meanwhile, one of the candidates that the Air Force already studied can serve both aerial refueling receivers and much more. Besides as an aerial tanker, the A330 MRTT can serve as troop or VIP transport, air ambulance, cargo, and can also support up to 4 fighter aircraft in a deployment mission, along with their equipment and personnel for over 5,200 km from its base. Furthermore, we already have the infrastructure to support and maintain the aircraft. GMF Aero Asia has been maintaining Garuda Indonesia's A330 fleet for a long time, and the airline itself already has an experienced pilot and simulator for this type of aircraft. Sure, there will be some part of the aircraft that are different from the commercial ones, but I bet the basic function won't be so different, and that will be a good thing for us to save time and money in a lot of aspects. There is a rumor going around in the military forum that the procurement will include a used A330 aircraft being reconfigured into something else. Some say it will be reconfigured into MRTT, some say a VIP transport. I still cannot confirm this though, since the words came from the second-hand source. But it's possible. There is two evidence leading into this conclusion. The first one is with the budget. With the price tag of the A400M is about $130 million and the budget allocation is $700 million, we can get more than 2 aircraft if we want. Then if we add $300 million of the price tag of A330 MRTT into the equation, the total procurement cost is still under the budget. The second evidence is from Jane's article. They said that during the meeting with Airbus, officials from GMF AeroAsia were also present. As we all know, Garuda Indonesia doesn't have an A400M fleet. So what else are their reason for being there if not discussing the A330? But I remind you, it's still a rumor at this point, so please take it with a giant grain of salt. If the rumor happens to be true, I feel like the Ministry of Defense tried to hit 2 birds with 1 stone. What I mean is, they want to procure both A400M and A330 MRTT in a single contract. We have to admit, the budget allocation is strict, but the Air Force need is growing. First, we need an aerial tanker that can support all types of aircraft in their inventory. And second, we need a bigger cargo aircraft for not only to support military operation, but also to support missions other than war. If this is the only way to get the capabilities we need with such a limited budget, I fully support it. Quantitatively, of course, it's not enough for a country as vast as Indonesia. My dream fleet is 24 A400M and 16 MRTT. But hey, it's better than nothing. At least finally, the F-16 endurance can be increased because of the new tanker. And don't forget that they will be supported by a fleet of C-130J in the future. So the Air Force airlift capability will be just fine. Anyway, let's answer the question from the beginning of the video. Is the F400M the best solution for the aerial refueling job? For me, it depends on the outcomes. If we spend the $700 million of the MRTT budget only for the F400M, the answer is no. It's wrong and the budget is not meant for that. But if the rumor is proved to be true and we procure both F400M and A330 MRTT, then my answer is yes. There you have it, the twist and turn of the Indonesian Air Force aerial tanker program. What do you think about this new development? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family, subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one.